نصح للأمة وجاهد في سبيل الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، فيا عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي الخاطئة بتقوى الله وطاعته. إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. قال ربنا سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله الهاشمي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. I praise Allah as He deserves to be praised, and I ask Him to send His peace and His blessings upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, His family members, His companions, and all of those who followed His way of life. Dear brothers and sisters, often we hear words that Islam is not compatible with the human rights laws. Often we hear that Islam is intolerant towards women, and Muslims treat them in a horrible way, and they have no rights in Islam, and so on. However, we have to distance ourselves from the way how some Muslims may treat women in society and in their own houses as well. And when I say women, I'm referring to their wives, their daughters, relatives, and so on. For us, the role model is the Quran and An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Often individuals who blame Islam for being intolerant and having abusive laws towards women, they do not reflect and they do not see themselves and their history, how it was full of intolerance, and how even according to their own constitutions that used to be probably a few hundred years ago, the way how they treated women and the way how they allowed by law for the women to be treated was really intolerant and unjust. Islam came to revolutionize the world. I repeat it again. Islam came to revolutionize the world in different aspects. When it comes to ethics, when it comes to economy, when it comes to human rights. And it has laid down 1400 years ago rules, ahkam, that we find in the Quran and in the practice of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that were revolutionary at that time. And many of these laws that were placed, many of the principles that were established at that time left the Ummah an open door to continue that revolution in ethics, in religion, in economy, in human rights, and so on and so forth. So the door of improvement did not stop at the time of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And yes, maybe some of the aspects that were practiced 1400 years ago, internalized whether in government or in leadership, may not be compatible with the 21st century. May not be compatible with 21st century, but at that time, that was a revolution. So I repeat again, Islam, the beauty of Islam is that it kept the door open for improvement. Again, whether that is in economy, whether that is in justice, or no matter how you look at it on all of these different angles. Fiqh itself, the science of fiqh itself, jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence, is a science or a discipline that evolves. Not a discipline that is stagnant, but it is a discipline that evolves according to the time and the place as well. So that's why I'm saying it remained, or it kept an open door for an improvement as the time passes. And anybody who tries to limit or tries to stop the improvement of some of these disciplines and the advancement of the human being from these different aspects, who says, no, there is a stop, we're not going to improve, we're going to remain the same, those are considered to be extremists in their views and their practices. And often those individuals, they have a microphone in their hands and they try to convince masses that this is the way how it should be. We're not going to change anything. And I'm not making a case here, and I'm not telling you that Muslim scholars should be welcoming any change that is out there. Because there are so many different groups of people out there who are looking for their rights in committing evil. In other words, the society should be comfortable and allow the evil to take place in the name of the human rights. And this is where we say, stop. This is where we say that the door for advancing in this cause is closed. But the door for the advancement of the human being, in particularly the 5 universal maqasid, or the objectives of our Sharia, is always open. In other words, the door for the rights of the humans, for example, in order to practice their own faith and to improve that, it is open. The door to preserve our nasl, for example, the offspring, and the ways, the innovative ways of preserving our offspring in the future and making a better life for our future generations, including our lives as well. Anything that enhances it, anything that improves it, the door for that improvement is always open and acceptable and encouraged, as a matter of fact. The door for improving our wealth and also inheriting the wealth, and it is always, because this is all the economy. Economy needs to be better and better. It is open for the improvement and encouraged as well, and so many other things. So to say that Islam is a religion that closes the doors for the human improvement, including human justice and human rights, is totally wrong and unacceptable according to our religion. And as I have started talking about the rights of the women, remember during the time when the Nabi ﷺ came, women had no rights in many different aspects. When it comes to ethics, there were no ethics the way how Islam put some ethics. The mother was not treated the same way how Islam encouraged its followers to treat their mothers, or their daughters, or their sisters. While the other religions believed that women are not like man, they don't have a soul. They went as far as saying they don't have a soul, and they should be kept underground during certain periods of time. And so many other ideas or rules that do exist there. Islam 1400 years ago said, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. O you people, we created you from a single male and female. And it established the rights for the women and the rights for the man as well. And a part of this right is to honor the women, is to respect the women, is to love them as well. Just like a son should love his own father and respect him as well. On the other side, he should do the same thing for his own mother, and even more than that. And I don't need to go into the hadith because you're all aware of those hadiths. Very simple hadiths. And then after that, the Quran mentioned وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. This is repeated again, that from you He created your own partner. In other words, Hawa was created from Adam alayhi salam. What is this? What is the indication of this? It indicates that we are from each other. And when you are from each other, you have to respect each other. And you also have a very strong bond with each other. As man and women, you have a very strong bond. That's what it indicates. And then later on goes on to talk about the relationship between the husband and wife. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. In order for you to find that peace, that sakina in your partner. So in your relationship, it is not you overpowering and mistreating people, but لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. The first reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us in the Quran, in relations between man and woman in marriage, is the first objective or the first reason, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So you will find that peace in your partner. That sakina, that tranquility in your partner. And anything that spoils this relation, anything that contributes negatively towards this peace and tranquility, it should be rejected. It is not a part of Islam. Again, anything that threatens that sakina, that tranquility between the husband and wife, it is not a part of Islam and it should be fought. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He has placed between you. Mawadda is considered as affection, or sometimes we can translate that as unconditional love. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً. And if you were about to tell 200 years ago or 300 years ago, I'm not going 1400 years ago, a few hundred years ago, if you were about to tell people this, they would start laughing at you. What are you talking about? وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Unconditional love. It is God who has placed between the husband and wife that unconditional love. And also mercy between each other. They're merciful with one another. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Indeed, in those, in other words, in the relation between the two, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created or has bestowed these blessings in the relation between the husband and wife, there are indeed signs for people who reflect, for people who use their mind. This is scratching the tip of the iceberg right here with the verses from the Quran that are very deep. Not only recently, in the recent centuries, you have proclamations as all men are created equal. Quran 1400 years ago talks about this. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have honored, we have dignified the children of Adam. It does not say Muslims alone, or Arabs alone, or Americans alone. Bani Adam. We have honored, we have dignified children of Adam, the humankind. Let's move on to some more details of our topic today in regards to the example of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam treating his women and his daughters and other sahabiyat, female companions from his time. We see first and foremost that he had tremendous love and respect for his wife, Sayyidatuna Khadija. And he talks about his love towards her even after she has passed away, years after she passed away, he still keeps talking about her. And a sign of that love is that he would honor her people by giving gifts because he loved his wife, Sayyidatuna Khadija. Something that most of the people don't even consider. Do not even do, but this is the personality of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His other wife, Sayyidatuna Aisha, radiallahu anha, she became, even though she was in a young age, she became the teacher, the mentor of many sahabas, many companions. For those who say that women should be just locked inside the house, or for those who think that Islam does not give rights to women, one of the first teachers, one of the most amazing and knowledgeable teachers among the companions of Rasulullah was his own wife, Aisha. She was given fatwas, Islamic non-binding verdicts in regards to many different issues, extracting laws from these primary sources from the Quran and the practice of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They used to ask her all the time, and she was a public speaker as well at that time. She would speak in public spaces. And then when it comes to Salama as well, she was a very knowledgeable person, the wife of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, given knowledge to many companions. That's where we start from, the family. How did he treat his wives? Nowadays, I receive so many couples, and I receive sisters from our community and outside the community who come and say, my husband beats me. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam never and ever put a hand on any of his wives. This is established in the hadith. But he treated them kindly and he treated them well. And as a matter of fact, in the hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, وَخِيَارُهُمْ خِيَارُهُمْ لِنِسَائِهِمْ. And the best of the companions, the best of the Muslims, are the ones who treat their wives in the best possible way. Please come forward and fill up the empty space that you have in front of you. There are still people standing. Please fill up the empty space in front of you. When we see his own daughter, Sayyidatuna Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha, Fatima bid'atun minni, man ghadabaha ghadabani. Fatima is a part of me, and the person who upsets her has indeed upset me. The first place where he would go was his own daughter when he would come from a journey or from an expedition, would be his own daughter Fatima radiallahu anha. كانت أم أبيها. She was the mother of her own father, figuratively speaking. The mother of her own father. In other words, she took care of him in such a manner that she resembled her own mother in taking care of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it was not because Prophet was commanding her, but it was because of that relation that was established between father and daughter. And the bottom line of that relation, the foundation of that relation was love. Was love for her own daughter and love for her own father as well. So we mentioned about Fatima, we mentioned about the wives of Prophet ﷺ being, in public spaces, speaking, giving fatwas, narrating hadiths of the Nabi ﷺ, being scholars of that time. What else? What was the role of the women during the time of the Nabi ﷺ? Well, to be honest, during this khutbah, it's impossible for me to cover everything. But I'm just covering some pieces here and there in order to portray the role of the woman, the role of the women at the time of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Rufayda bint Aslamiyya. Many of us have not heard this name. Rufayda bint Aslamiyya. She was the first doctor of the Muslims. Al-Ansariya. She was from the Ansars, from the people of Medina. What did she do? She was the one who participated in the battle of Uhud, and in the battle of Hunayn, and in many other battles, doing what? Putting or caring about the wounded people. Wounded companions who were fighting in the battle. She was going out there and she was the nurse and the doctor at the same time, and the first surgeon of Muslims who used to take care of the sick people. And after the battle of Khaybar, she asked the Prophet ﷺ, she said, Ya Rasulullah, I want to have a tent, a clinic inside of the mosque. And the Nabi ﷺ allowed that, and he said, for sure. And that's where she treated the sick people inside the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ, in a clinic right there, 1400 years ago. What else are we talking about? We're also talking about Rufayda. We're talking about Nusayba bin Ka'b. Nusayba bin Ka'b was not only a good mother, was not only a loving wife, but she was at the same time a warrior among some other warriors, among other female warriors from the Ansars. She participated in many different battles as well. And during the battle of Uhud, she received so many wounds, 13 wounds on her body, fighting along the other male companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there are narrations that they would not even know whether she's a woman, the way how she was dressed and how powerful she looked to the enemy. They would not even know whether she was a male or female. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he talks about her, he says that during that battle, wherever I was turning my head, right or left or in front, in the back, all over I could see Ruwaida, because she was protecting. She was a shield during that time when the battle grew so intense. And the Nabi alayhi salatu started getting hurt and started bleeding in that battle. Sayyidatuna Ruwaida, one of the warriors. This is the role of the woman 1400 years ago. Please, there is empty space. Try to fill up. We have so many people standing. And if there is no space, please, some brothers, they can pray outside as well. Barakallahu feekum. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, we have narration, for example, about Qais bin Thabit. Thabit bin Qais, who was also a companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And his wife came to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, I have no attachment whatsoever with my husband. I have no attachment. So permit me, or ask him to divorce me. She was looking for a divorce. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went to Sayyidina Thabit bin Qais, and he told him about this. And he told her that she has to let the mahr, which was a garden, to let it go and give it back to Thabit bin Qais. That's what happened, and the divorce took place. Nabi alayhi salatu heard right away the complaint, and he saw that this is going nowhere, this relation. So he allowed that. He was recipient individual. Not like us nowadays. Women, they suffer. And here I'm not making a case, that people should divorce right away. Because even here, he, alayhi salatu wasalam, saw that there is no green light at the end of the tunnel here. He saw that this is going nowhere, right? And that's, the divorce took place. But how quickly Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, how quickly he took care of this and did not delay this khula. We see in another occasion a woman who came to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As a matter of fact, she was walking. It was during the early days. And he said, where are you going with this luggage? She had bags and all that. She was moving pretty much. And I can help you. And he started helping. As he was helping, she says, well, I heard that there is this magician and this bad man that that is in our society right here. His name is Muhammad. And I just want to get away from any harm that may come from this. Sometimes people, they hear a few things here and there, and they go, okay, maybe there's a harm coming up, so I'm just leaving. Guess what he did? He helped her. He helped her. And then later on, as he was helping her, he was very kind to her. And then when the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam put those luggages or whatever she had with her, she saw his kindness and his great personality. And she said, my son, she said, what's your name? Who are you? And he said, I am Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The man who you thought that is evil, or the man who you thought that is going to cause trouble in the society right here. She returned back and she pronounced her Islam, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. This was the treatment, how the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam treated his, people. And in this case, we have a woman. And anybody would be at least like, I'm not going to help you. You may not have to abuse the person or speak ill or anything, but you have the right not to even help. He decided to show his personality through his action, to show who he is through his action. And he was actually departing. He was not even going to mention his name. But she is the one who asked him, "Who are you?" because of this kindness. This is the personality of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is the way how he dealt with his wives, with his companions, female companions, and other ladies in the society back in those days. And as I said, Islam does not stop only there. But Islam, as I said, it has opened the door. That revolution that took place 1400 years ago, it opened the doors for future improvement according to the place and time. How can Muslims be progressive? How Muslims they can advance themselves and others in society. And others in society, not just themselves, and others in society, pioneers in the improvements of relationship, pioneers in the improvement of life overall, pioneers in improvement of economy, pioneers in improvement of human justice, and so on and so forth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His peace and His blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his companions, his family members, and all of those who followed his nur. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله حمد الكاملين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، تعظيما للنبي وتكريما لفخامة شأن شرف صفيه. فقال عز وجل من قائل مخبرا وآمرا: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وارض اللهم عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن أهل بيت رسول الله وأصحابه الكرام والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا قاضي الحاجات يا مجيب الدعوات. استجب دعاءنا برحمتك يا أكرم الأكرمين ويا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم طهر قلوبنا واستر عيوبنا واشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا وانصرنا على أنفسنا يا خير الناصرين. وتقبل منا صلاة الجمعة بجماعة الحاضرين المسلمين كما تقبلت من عبادك الصالحين يا أرحم الراحمين. أفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. عباد الله يقول تعالى: إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.